Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another Dinkum video. Today, we're going to do some inspiring tours of our visitor campsites. Another area that can be a little bit drab and boring and not so easy to decorate for or make a space for that is aesthetically pleasing and, goes well with your island. So we're on my Catalina Island. It's my creative island, and we're going to take a look at the visitor center area that I built for this particular island. It has never had anywhere fancy, so this is a total upgrade. Let's go take a look. My visitor center on this particular island is on its own little island off to the side, and you cross it with one of the rope bridges, my absolute favorite in the game. I love the way this looks. It gives you this fantastic bridge moment when you connect one landmass to another. And I thought, any visitors coming to our island, it needs to look fancy. I got lucky on the day of recording this that I did happen to have a visitor in my campsite area. Also, this is really close to our eastern teleport tower. So a quick travel if you're someplace else on the island and you need to get over here and see one of the visitors, well, you can travel here very quickly. So I wanted to come off of the bridge and have just sort of this walkway that's got lights at nighttime. They're lit up, and then you've got all this stone lanterns and fire. Gives a very tropical vibe, along with burying some bottle trees and placing tropical plants pretty much everywhere. And I did this area with bottle trees, palm trees, and coconut trees mostly to really add to this sort of vibe. This side of my island is very tropical. It has much more of a tropical aesthetic. And so that is what we did here. So then you turn this little corner, and here, situated on the center of the island, is the visitors platform. And right now we've got the night market here. I love this tent. That is one of the coolest in the game. I would love this as an item. James, please, can we please have that? And then if you just, I did not mow, so everything will grow in here and be overgrown. And then we've got this little pond / body of water. I buried a bottle tree to kind of hide the little basket to make it look a little bit more like an actual pond you'd have. And then it's literally just trees and foliage and plants everywhere. I built this up on a couple of tiers for the platform, and then each tier has some space to decorate or put trees on. I decided to go with hedging just to really pop the green here, and with this purple tint it really pops, I think. And then of course I put some white hibiscus bushes and some planters and really finish out the look. So let's take a look at this at nighttime. Of course, we are in summertime, so it is pretty late to get some darkness going on here, and the sky is still tinged a little bit pinky red. I love that. But yeah, you got all the lights from the tiki torches and the festoon lighting, and then of course the stone lanterns you can get down in the undergrove. Really gives that tropical aloha kind of feel, right? I feel like that just makes you feel like you're on a vacation here. And then of course you've got the visitor center here at nighttime. I left other areas of the space kind of darkened because you want the focal point to be this walkway going up to the visitors area. And then I did put 2 lights over here where the pond is, and well, you could, I guess, put a bench down and have some seating for the person coming to visit, and they have a nice view to take in. That could be an option if you wanted. I wanted to leave everything very natural. I feel like the night market guy, he keeps to himself, but maybe the bug girl and the fish guy, they will enjoy sitting out here after a long day of competition. But yeah, this is our visitor center on the Catalina Island. What do you think? This is kind of a little bit on a bigger scale, a little bit more massive. Some people may be like, that's too much. You don't need that much space. And you really don't. Let me show you my map. This is where we currently are, and it is this entire island space here. Of course, we've got Town Hall over here, and then John is here. So keeping it kind of close to those two was kind of important, and so it's close to the areas you need to be close to, but also has its own little space and is designated as, a very special area. And of course, you could fit a lot of stuff on this little island here in the game, but I put my visitor center all by itself. So there you have it. That's a more large-scale visitor center area. Do you want to see some smaller ones? Let's go take a look. Welcome to my Laguna Springs Island. Here, you step right on off the platform from the airship, and we've got a little boat right here currently. You step right off of here, and boom, you're right on our welcome sign to Laguna Springs. And just next to that is our visitor center here. Again, I did dirt print this one up as well. I just feel like that seems better than being flat on the ground. I don't know. Of course, you know, when in doubt, put flower boxes in front of or next to everything, right? I did mix and match some fencing here. You know, you could obviously do the same all the way around. I think when I was doing this, I was playing vanilla and then switched to creative. I mean, that's why there's two different kinds, and I kind of just liked it and left it. Then you've got a lovely little seating area. Always elevate your campfire so you don't catch yourself on fire. This is a really, really small visitors area that really anybody could achieve. It's very possible in vanilla or creative, whatever you want to do. I like having this little spot right here. You pop in, you've got two trees that are flanked with flower boxes, and then you've got your little area that you go up and visit. I think if I were to do this now, I would make this walkable area a little wider, just, you know, just to give yourself a little bit more room here in front. But some people like that, you know, tighter double stacked look. And then back here, we've got our festoon light. So whenever there's a tent or whatever, it, you know, really illuminates this area really nicely. And then it goes with my town sign, Laguna Springs. So you could do something like this. I actually have a video on the channel where I redid my welcome area for this particular island. You might have seen mini tours of this one. This was my third island in Dinkum, and it really kind of started out as a creative island. And we went from there. I think, I'm okay. I'm remembering correctly. This one never was a vanilla island. So maybe this was a design choice. Apparently it was. You know, this was built many years ago. Things have changed since then, but it is a very small area. And then of course you enter into the main town from here. Over here, we have a fabricated sunbed out here next to the water, looking at the bay, and of course across the water there is an ice cream shop and Jersey Seaside Cafe, and then of course a lovely waterfall. So you've got a lot of little things to look at here. We put some guest houses out on a pier that you can rent. That's all the surroundings, but this is to give you guys just a little bit of reference on what you could do for your visitor center on a much smaller scale if you didn't want to do all the other. Just a nice little platform that has all the foliage to decorate it. Let's go take a look at one more. Welcome to Serenity, my vanilla island that we started in December of 2024. We have been working on this island as of the recording of this video for almost 10 months. This is a completely vanilla island, no creative mode. We have had some friends come over and generously gift items that it was difficult for us to acquire. So it made some of these builds a little bit more possible than just straight vanilla. It's vanilla fudge, as we like to call it. But over here, we decided to create a visitor center right across from the airport area. And if you come over here, you've got this lovely view of basically almost like a campsite, like you would have at any sort of national park. Just very simple. I liked the idea of planting a bunch of foliage around the base of where the visitor center was. Something that's very easy and attainable for pretty much anyone at any stage. Obviously, if you haven't been able to go to the summer isles, some of these hibiscus might be a little bit more difficult. The yellow and the red do spawn on your island in certain biodomes. The white and the purple, you'd have to get off of the summer isles. So you can substitute colors. I just happen to choose these, but this should be something fairly easy for anyone of any level and state of the game. We created this little campsite, little spot over here, a picnic spot, where you can relax with some hammocks, have yourself a campfire, and even a kiddie pool. And then over here, there's a little picnic area with a table and chairs and an umbrella with some lighting. Very simple. You got some crates of fruit. And of course, we're in autumn on this island, so we've got mushrooms spawning, which actually add a really nice touch. And we might have to go back and add those in for real after the season is over. But when there is a visitor's tent here, it looks really stunning. And I thought it was absolutely perfect that the two coconut trees curve inward towards the platform rather than away or maybe pointing in the same direction. I don't know. It just seems to frame this area out really nicely. I got very lucky with that. This island, we're not doing a lot of terraforming or dirt printing or compacting if we can help it. And so, you know, we just left things mostly as they were and, you know, blended in with the scenery. Then, of course, some lovely friends of mine came over and they built this wonderful park area right next to it. So you can have these transitional spaces of, you know, parks leading into campsites, leading into another park. It's really, it can really whatever your imagination lends to what you want to do. So yeah, this is definitely an idea. I also put these vine walls back here to kind of hide what's going on there for now, kind of a desolate space. So, you know, once we get that filled in, we may take those down, but I really wanted to give that lush green overgrown feel. And then when the visitors come in, you know, it's really a shame that there isn't one there right now because it looks really amazing when there is a a visitor at the campsite. So yeah, this is 3 different ideas for you to utilize for your visitor center. So what did you think? Did that inspire you? Most of these ideas involve a lot of nature, foliage, trees, flowers, that kind of thing. Maybe that's not your vibe. I'd love to see what you guys do and your interpretation on what your visitor center might look like. So make sure you click that link in the description down below and come to my Discord and post pictures to inspire all of us. I want to thank everybody for watching today. You guys are amazing. Your support of the channel means a lot to me. And if you don't mind, hit that like button before you leave. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. I'd love to have you here. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching this video. I want you to go out and make all the creative things and then show them to me when you're done. How about it? Deal? All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Y'all be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.